Yo, I'm Micks Mowers and welcome to my channel. In this quick little video, I'm going to be showing you a piece of equipment that was gifted to me some years ago by my very good friend, Henry Maworski. Here's a little picture of his YouTube channel just here. Just make sure you go over there. I will leave a link to his channel in the comment section down below. I'm trying to get my mate Henry up and over 1,000 subscribers, try and get his channel over 1,000. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't release a lot of videos, but he's a real good dear friend of mine. I'm trying to get the community behind me to get Henry's channel up and over the 1,000 mark. So go and check out Henry Maworski. He has gifted me this tool some years ago, but I consider it to be essential. If you are a small business, if you are just a one-man team, you're running your own lawn care firm or whatever it is, if you're just a hobbyist in your own house or your lawnmower, hedge trimmer, string trimmer has broken down and you try and repair it, you may be able to find some videos on YouTube from Micks Mowers and Mowerman on how to get your equipment back up and running, but you will need some essential tools. Standard tools like sockets and spanners, that just goes without saying, but there are some little tiny bits and tricks that you will need to buy certain pieces of equipment, which may cost you between, this one costs about 25 to 30 quid. It seems a big layout for a quick, simple fix, but you'll be able to understand how the machine works, what is going on, and the reason why. So I'll be releasing some videos over the next 6 months on Micks Mowers essential tools you need, in my opinion, for diagnosing pieces of equipment, especially if you're at home or if you run your own business and you want to try and get your machinery up and running without having the cost of sending it into a main dealer. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. Let's check out the piece of equipment I've got here on the bench. I'm going to show you how it works, what it does, and the reasons why. And we'll go from there. Don't forget, check out Henry Maworski. Go over there onto his latest video and comment on his latest video there to say Micks Mowers and Mowerman have sent you. Let's get Henry over the 1,000. Right, so as you all know, Micks Mowers works predominantly on lawnmowers, generators, hedge trimmers, string trimmers, all the sort of stuff, and they all have one thing in common, and that is that they all are fueled via a carbureted system. Okay, carbureted system is quite an old system in itself, and we've moved forward now to injection fuels and what have you, injection fueling and all that sort of good stuff. But pretty much, I get lots of comments and questions on Mick, my lawnmower, my generator. I've cleaned the carburetor out and it still continues not to run properly. Or I go to start my lawnmower and my fuel tank is empty. Why does my carburetor keep flooding out the front of the carburetor? All things like that. So this piece of equipment will actually give you a diagnosis if your carburetor is good or not. And if it's not a good carburetor, you have two options. You can try and repair it, or you can just replace your carburetor. Okay. So a prime example is this one here. Looks to be like a Honda carburetor in itself. It is a used carburetor, and in my mind, a good carburetor that I can either use or I can use it for parts or to put on a machine. So, what's important to note is that the float system sits inside the bowl. So I'm just going to crack open this bowl here with a 10mm spanner. Bit rusty inside here, and this has just been sat to one side, and as you can see, it's completely empty, a bit dirty inside there. There's a float pin and what have you. Now, if your carburetor or if your lawnmower, you go to it every week and or every night and your fuel tank is empty, that means your fuel is letting by. If your carburetor is flooding out the front of the airbox out of here and running down the front of your lawnmower, that's because your needle and seat is not seating and not shutting the fuel supply off. So one of these very simple let-by kits. Now you can go onto Amazon, YouTube, you can go anywhere you like and punch in carburetor let-by tester, and something like this will turn up. And you get 2 or 3 options. My one's got enough different pipes and connectors there to connect to 2-stroke carburetors as well as 4-strokers. So the way this works. Okay, so what happens is, as you turn your fuel tap on, fill up your fuel tank, what will happen is your carburetor will be this way up, okay, and your float will be down like so. As your bowl fills up with petrol, it works the same as a toilet system. As soon as the fuel starts to push up on this float, what will happen is it will then get to the top, and this little tiny needle just inside here, okay, that will stop the fuel, because the fuel comes in from here and down into here. That little needle inside here will stop the flow of fuel. Now what sometimes happens is the needle can get a little bit dirty. The seat can be no good where it's not meshing together properly, or the float just gets stuck, and that little tiny float needle should move up and down just like so. That's what it should do. Okay, so let's just say we're going to use it upside down for this purpose. Okay, so we actually see if this carburetor is any good or not. Let's say you stripped it, you've cleaned it, you've put it on your machine and it's pissing out fuel, or you've gone to test it the next day and your fuel tank is empty and there's no sign of any fuel spillage. That's because probably the needle and seat is letting by, but it's letting by at such a small rate the fuel is actually vaporizing off before it hits your lawnmower deck. So one of these pieces of equipment could save all that theory. Now what you do is you hold your carburetor upside down, you just put your hose on, and then you just give it 2 or 3 pumps up to around about 5 psi. Hold your carburetor up nice and straight, up to 5 psi, and let go. And what you can do now is you can just put your carburetor down to one side and go and have a cup of tea, right? Because you want to give that about 10 or 15 minutes. But already I can see that this carburetor in itself, and I'm not manipulating this carburetor is already starting to lose its pressure. So we're at 5 psi and we're already now down to about 4, and it's still dropping, and I haven't moved it at all. I haven't touched the float, and it's still dropping. Now this can happen over a period of hours or days, okay, depending on how small the let by is, okay. But I can guarantee you that if you have cleaned your carburetor 2 or 3 times and it's still not running right, it could very well be because of a needle and seat issue. Still dropping. We're down to about 2 psi now, 3 psi. Okay, so what you can now do is just increase it again up to 5, so we know we're not mucking about, up to 5, and then let go. Now sometimes you might get a reading where it's sat there for 10 minutes and it's been fine, and then you go out to go and do your cut and it's mucked about again. Just put your tester back on and you can see we're already dropping down. Now you want that to hold. It's no good saying it was up to 5 for 25 minutes and then had no problems, and now it's letting by again. It means it's letting by. So simply by moving the float up and down, we'll drop the pressure. If I hold the float up, you won't get any pressure. If I force the float down, you may actually then be able to hold the pressure. Okay, now that's actually holding. If I hold the float down, if I release the float down, because it's on a spring, it may start to muck about again. Okay, so that would tell me if you were, if you weren't prepared to wait, then what you'd have to do is either clean the carburetor again and hope that solves the issue, or go and buy a brand new carb. But already that carb would, in my opinion, that would fail the test because that's gone below the 5 psi already. Okay, so this is a new carburetor that I installed on a machine, but actually it turned out not to be the carb issue. It was something else. So I actually took this one back off and put it to one side. So this has been used, not for very long. This is off of a SP 200 engine, which is similar to the Hondas. That has been used, but only for about 3 or 4 minutes. I got these cheap off of a website, and non-genuine. So there it is inside. Push that O-ring down, don't let O-ring to muck about, because as you can see, this carburetor is pretty much brand new, as you would expect. So we would expect this carburetor to pass. Okay, it works exactly on the same system a lot of carburetors do, the float system. So let's now hook up our pressure tester. Hook it up. And we're going to pressure test this one now. I'm not going to hold the float. Up to 5 psi and hold it. And as you can see, that one's holding. Now you want to sit there for 15 minutes, like I say, just leave it be. But that one is already holding. I can see it is. It's not even moved. But just to make sure, you want to make sure it doesn't move for a period of time. So that one's actually holding. So that in my opinion, that would be a good carburetor. You can move the float up, to release the pressure, and then just squeeze it back up again. You want to go no more than 5 psi. Over 5 psi, and what you'll start to do is start to just blow the flow up, and you won't get a proper reading. Okay, so up to about 5, maybe 5.5, up to there. Hold it nice and steady, and that carburetor is holding. It's not letting by. Okay, now the best way to fix that, the letting by area, is just to get a set of tools. And I'm going to use a set of long nose pliers. I'm going to remove the needle, or the pin. I'm going to remove the float, and on the float will be a little tiny needle. That's the needle, and that is a little tiny home the needle sits in. Okay. Now, hopefully, to fix the letting by issue, it's very simple, and all you want is a drill, preferably. We get a drill, and we're going to get some Q-tips, and we're going to get some grinding paste. I'm going to use a fine 120 grit. Okay, so to try and fix this carburetor non-seating issue, I've got some special grinding paste here which I use. I just put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil in there, or something like that, just to loosen it up. And I get a Q-tip, and I just literally want to rub the Q-tip in the grinding paste. I don't want a lot on there. I'm going to put that Q-tip into my DeWalt drill. Other drills are available. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to insert the Q-tip into this brass seat. Okay, slide it, get it moving first, nice and gently, no go fast, and then speed it up. And just apply a little bit of pressure, a little bit of sideways movement. The Q-tip will break because they're only paper, okay? But what we're looking for is on the Q-tip, it must have that little tiny dimple on the top. See that little tiny dimple right on the top? That means we're actually accessing the actual seat of a carburetor itself, of the actual seat of the where the needle sits. So a little bit of grinding paste, and I use a fine one. You can use valve lapping paste, anything like that. I just use, this is what I use for back lapping cylinders. So in it goes. Apply a little bit of pressure, a little bit of sideways movement. And you can see by the end of that, we've actually accessed the end. Okay. So now if I get some carburetor cleaner or something similar, I use Pocket Rocket. Already, you can see inside the seat here, it is already nice and shiny. I'm trying to get that for the camera for you, nice and close. You can see it's really shiny. That means we've already accessed it. So now I'm going to spray that carburetor off. Okay, just where the needle and seat is. And I'm going to run some solution through the seating area. I'm going to run a straw down into here and also through here as well. Okay, so now that looks to be quite clean to me. I'm now going to get my needle. I'm just going to visually inspect the end of the needle. Make sure there's no dirt on there. There isn't. I don't think there is. A little tiny spray with this is Pocket Rocket. You can use just WD-40. Okay. So now I'm going to put that back into its home. I'm going to get my little tiny pin. Oh, get rid of that grinding paste, don't want that on there. I'm going to insert that back in. Some are going to go one way, some go the other, because one is going to be slightly more rounded. Let's try that way, make everything's way come out. Okay, I'm going to get one little quick squirt off because my hands are a bit dirty. Okay, I'm going to put a bit of solution underneath here. Just to run that through. Right, so now, bearing in mind, all I've done so far is just clean the needle and seat up, okay, with the Q-tip. As you saw on the actual Q-tip itself, you can actually see the end of the Q-tip has actually gone in. You see where it's just got a slight dimple on the end of it? That means it's gone into the seat. So now, if we get our tester, now this won't work every time. You might have to do it 2 or 3 times. Let's just get our tester. Now, I'm not holding the float. Let's just bring it up to 5. Hold it there. As you can see, that's holding. I'm not manipulating. I'm not manipulating the carburetor. I've just got to hold it just with my underside of my hand. Now, again, you'd leave that for 10-15 minutes, okay? As I say, I'm not manipulating that. Look, nothing's touching that float, and it's still holding. I'm not holding the back of the pump up. I'm trying to get all of it in line together, so you can see I'm not manipulating anything. There you go. And as you can see, that's now holding. So that means when you put that carburetor back together now, you know this carburetor is not going to let by. If it starts to let by, again, just follow the procedure. Get some Q-tips, clean the needle and see it out, check the needle. I dropped it off, look. Let's just put it back on. Now this will stop you from getting frustrated, number one. And it will also give you a clear, definitive answer as to if your carburetor is any good or not. If it'll hold fuel overnight, then that's good. This is one way of testing your carburetor is actually not letting by. So there you go, quick little video for you. Let's go back up top and talk about it a little bit more. So there you go, simple tool. Costs around 25 to 30 quid. You can get them cheaper than that, it depends where you go. You can pay a little bit more than that, depends where you go. I will leave a link in the description down below for the Amazon link to it. You can find it on there. I'm not affiliated, I'll just leave a link there for you. I make no money out of it. This was given to me by my very good friend Henry Maworski from the Big Dog Repair Shop. I'll leave a link to his channel in the comment section down below. Go and check out Hank, leave a comment to say you have subscribed to his channel and that Micks Mowers and Mower Man have sent him. I want to try and get my friend Hank over the 1,000 subscriber count if I can this year. So, the reasons why. If you repair your lawnmower and your lawnmower just starts pissing out fuel out the front of the carburetor through the airbox, that'll be that. You need one of these to check the leak by test. You can just blow on it, but that doesn't give a definitive answer because how hard are you blowing? If your lawnmower, you repair it and then the next morning you go out to it, or later that day you go out to it and the fuel tank is empty, you need one of these. If you repair the lawnmower and it is bogging down, check it's not letting by first, because if it's not getting the correct amount of fuel being delivered, then it could be a problem. So one of these little tiny tools is so vitally important to the diagnosis on how to repair your own garden equipment, let alone anybody else's, and it will save you time. I get so many comments saying, Mick, I've cleaned my carburetor 5 or 6 times, it's still not working right, blah, blah, blah. How much? A new carburetor is like £80. Well, can you help me? Buy one of these. Buy one of these and test your carburetor first. Test it. And just because you've cleaned it doesn't mean it's working right. If you clean it and then test it, then you know where you stand. If you're still letting by, ask yourself the question, do I need a new carburetor or can I just buy a new needle? Do I have to buy a new seat? Because some of the carburetors come with seats, like the Tecumseh versions come with their own little tiny rubber seats. And sometimes you can buy a needle and seat kit. Once you put a new needle and seat kit in, you can then test it again. If it works, away you go, good as gravy. So there you are, a quick little video, or quickish little video on one of Micks Mowers' essential tools for repairing your small engines. Get yourself one of these. It is called a carburetor leak by testing kit. Given to me by my very good friend Henry Maworski. Go and check him out. His channel will be in my comment section. Let's get him over 1,000. Comment to Henry Maworski to say Micks Mowers and Mower Man have sent me. Let's get Henry over the 1,000 mark if we can, please. So there you go. Make sure you get one of those. I'm eternally ever grateful to my friend Hank for giving me that. He gifted it to me and he said, Mick, have one of these, they're brilliant, and I've never ever looked back since. The only problem of mine is this one, is that Riley boy took the bolt out of it, so I've had to put some stuff in there, do it up tight. Now I just don't release the valve anymore. We have got the tiny valve on there, but yeah, little Riley boy, fingers, fiddle fairy, he'd been in there. But it still works fine. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget, hit the old thumbs up and leave me a nice little comment, or a nasty one, I don't really mind. And subscribe to my channel. We're just approaching the 30,000 mark now, so I'm nearly up to 30,000 subscribers. I cannot believe that. That'd be amazing. And onwards and upwards. So happy 2025 to you all. Happy New Year to you all. Hope you have a fantastic year. Make this year count. Make this year be the year for you. Be happy, be positive. Spread the wealth, spread the knowledge, okay? So there'll be more videos coming up on Micks Mowers' essential tools to repairing your smaller engine equipment. If you've got any essential tools that you think I haven't got and you think I need them, leave that in the comment section too, and I'll try and purchase one up somewhere and we'll go from there. I'll try and do a video on it for you. So There you go. Thank you for watching Micks Mowers and Mower Man. If you did enjoy it, then as I say, hit your subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all. That way you tell us time up on a video. And I look forward to you guys next time. Micks Mowers very, very soon. Until don't forget, much more importantly, take it easy.